It said that I've been live. Oh, there we go. It said that I'd been live for like 13 hours, which is definitely not true. Anyway, tonight I am cutting out linings for my glasses cases, which is patterned by Miss Freckles Designs. We're back in the cutting room to do that. There will be some movement with the laptop. I'll bring it with me to the sewing desk because I have to actually sew a few things together. Hi, I'm just giving a rundown of kind of what's going on right now. So it is late. The kids did not go to bed very early. Anyway, but yeah, I've got to do some sewing together of a few pieces so that the directional prints are the right direction. And then I will be trying to also get them interfaced and stabilized so that I can actually get the sewing done over the weekend. I had a bunch of plans to actually have friends over to help this weekend, but my eldest has come down with a stomach bug. And so I've rain checked all my plans. So I'll be flying solo again this weekend, trying to get this work done. So I am both ahead and farther behind than I anticipated. So let's just get right into it now at this point. After that long-winded, very unnecessary explanation, I'm on the other side of the cutting table tonight because the steam press is on this side. And I'm still trying to get everything figured out for how to set up this space. And I honestly, I haven't taken the time to do it. And so we're where we're at with everything. And with it being show prep season, I don't foresee myself taking a lot of time to get things figured out. There is a big bookshelf at this end. It actually holds a bunch of our like school textbooks, a few things that haven't actually gotten shelves installed for them. Hi, cat. We love you too. This is Flynn. He's a Norwegian forest cat. He's a giant. Anyway, some of that stuff I need to just destash, its beads and stuff like that, or put into like future crafting boxes for the kiddos. But yes, cat, I love you too. I swear, if it's not the kids, it's the cats. Anyway, I should probably just clear off the top there and use the top for a lot of that. But I was thinking, I'm like, I've got a shelf over here that's full of like the obi and stuff. But when we moved in, I moved in the big fabric bolts, these guys. And it just doesn't work to move around the sewing room very well. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear the two top shelves off of that shelf, and then I will then I'm going to move the lining fabric bolts over onto that shelf so they're not sticking out into my workspace as much. And that should just streamline the room a little bit more without me having to like replace the whole shelving system over here, which I don't want to spend the money on right now. Use what you have as best as you can, right? I do know that my husband wants to move most of his like kind of text and workbooks upstairs. So maybe I'll get a shelf for the kind of like alcove that we were thinking that it should go into. And that would actually clear. Yeah, I could clear one of those shelves by doing that. So I don't know. I'll figure it out. I need to measure that space. That's what has actually been the hold up there. Excuse me. If it sounds like I am disorganized and don't know what I'm doing, it's because we moved into this place last May. We've got two littles, and I have been surprisingly busy. Like, it's been good for the business, but not very good for actually getting the stuff done that I need to get done. I don't know why I'm unrolling the interfacing right now. We don't need this. We need the white lining fabric first, but we'll get this a little bit tidier, I guess. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'll tell myself I'm doing. All right. Good enough. Get out of here. I did work on a couple of projects today that I shouldn't have technically. I've got so many other, I've got orders to fulfill, but I had to do them. So I've been wanting to do wallets for a really long time. And so I've been I don't know. I didn't find very many satisfactory wallet patterns for a really long time. In part, we've already made that one. Let me know if you, in the comments, like comment below this video if you want this to actually be a an eyeglass case, or if I should make it, I'm thinking, oh no, that one needs to become like a notions pouch or like itty bitty box bag, because it'll line up way too well. Okay, I'll set that aside. So how many pieces do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That actually works a bit better. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, so for the longest time, there wasn't really any, I personally couldn't find any wallet patterns that were actually written for quilt cottons and cotton linen blends, which is what I work with. But I found one finally. So it's the Necessary Clutch Wallet by Emmeline Bags. They're actually out of Spruce Grove, which is about a 3-hour drive from me, north, which is awesome. And so they're local to me. It's where I buy a lot of the hardware for like the Kato drawstring bags, stuff like that. And I finally just like, Miss Freckles Designs brought out some wallet patterns as well, but I wasn't as satisfied with them. I don't know why not. I think it was mostly I was just unimpressed with how difficult it was to turn with the stabilizer. I love the actual like wallet. I just need to add a magnetic snap to this. But like, yeah, it was really hard to turn. But like, it's a super cute little wallet. So I think I might still do this one as well, but I'm going to change the stabilizer out to what I'm using in the NCW, so the Necessary Clutch Wallet. Although this is a lot thinner. I don't know. The interfacing or stabilizer in this is significantly more expensive though. So I think, and the wallet that I actually, like, these are the wallets. And they feel really, like, really nice. So I think that that's all good. These are like magnetic rivet snaps. They're so cool. It's what I've been using in the glasses cases as well. Although I had the startling realization that I need to actually get more of these and get more of these very rapidly. Because I think there's about 36 eyeglass cases to make right now, and I still want to be doing wallets, so I need more magnetic snaps. But this is the one that I really also like. These are very lightweight cottons. Or this one is anyway. This is like a lightweight cotton. And this turned out so well. Like, it's sturdy. It feels very professional, which is always what I'm going for. Apparently one side creased more than the other. But anyway. If you've been following along on my Instagram, you saw my kind of debate about like if I should do, so all of the wallets are always going to have the Japanese fabric up top here on the flap. No matter the direction, I will always do that. But my debate was if like the lining, which you barely see, should be Japanese fabric or not. So like you see it here when you open up the slip pockets. And you see it along the interior sides. So I'll show you what I mean. This one's lined not with North American fabric, but really you don't see it. So what I'm going to start doing is I will make the pockets out of the matching fabric to the exterior, and then I can use any directional print, because the problem with the interior, even though you can't see it very much, it would bother me if I used a directional print in here and then it was upside down. That would drive me absolutely insane. And I do not feel like piecing the interior, although I just realized it would be super easy with the hack I use to actually, anyway, I don't think I'll be using the Japanese fabric on the interior because you can't really tell. Tell here, and you can tell in the slip pocket. But I like the interior pocket matching the exterior. So like you get this nice foam pocket with it and everything like that as well. And then like you can't tell very much with the interior. I don't know. Let me know below what you think. I would appreciate it. Let's open up the new bolts of fabric and actually get into the making of the things. It's like 11:30 at night. So sorry for my random ramblings, but it's just how it's going to go tonight, apparently. I am tired. I'm also a sympathetic vomiter. So the kids having like stomach bugs is actually my worst nightmare. And the other issue is that it's very, very extremely likely, excuse me, that is still cold. I caught a cold in Japan or some sort of upper respiratory crud, and it's still clearing up. Actually, I don't know if I caught it in Japan or if I caught it from the kids when I got home. It's hard to tell. Okay, there we go. Anyway, words. Oh yeah, it's very likely that me and my youngest also caught this stomach bug, and it'll be the third one this year. Like it's the eldest's third one this year, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, kiddo, I'm so sorry. Out-of-home childcare is so good and absolutely horrendous at the same time. All right, so then we definitely want all of these on white. I'm thinking this needs to go on beige, and I don't feel like pulling the beige out. Could do it on a batik, which would look really good with this too, but it's over behind there. So this one's going to happen off camera. Bunnies will happen on camera because I can cut it on from the fold here on this long edge. So we just need to make one cut, right? Because that's already under there. Yeah. One cut of white. Already so scattered, I don't feel like making more work for myself right now. That's the big thing. Less work means a happier brain right now. All right. Oh, there's quite a bit more here actually that I remembered. Right. Okay, so actually we will use that. We can use this for the tuxedo cat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. He can come back. I don't know why tuxedo cats are he's, but apparently they are tonight. We're gonna go with it. In Japanese, tuxedo cat is actually bee cat, so it's hachiware neko. When I was ordering charms from Natsumi, I'm like, I want the tuxedo cats, and we had a huge amount of just miscommunication because obviously stuff gets lost in translation. My Japanese, I am not proficient. I get by. But she finally clued in, and she's like, oh, this is a bee cat, and I love it. I love that name for tuxedo cats. It's so good. All right, so we're going to cut this one a little bit bigger, just because why not? And then there's some more for either, actually, this could maybe work for a small box bag. Because it would be the same width, because the glass cases are actually cut from a small box bag cut. Let's see. Ooh. Close enough I can make it work. The interior should be a little bit smaller than the exterior. Anyway, all right. So most of these are non-directional. Tuxedo cat is non-directional enough. Cats are back in town is definitely non-directional. I've already made this in 2 other colors. It is friggin' adorable. Hamsters are scattered, so we don't have to worry about directional cut for that. The fruits are also a non-directional enough. So when I'm talking about directionality, I'll actually show it because the last piece is directional. Everything runs one direction. So in this case, if I was just to make this like this from this pattern, it would literally go like this, and then your flap and your main body piece would be upside down. The only piece that would be right side up the back, and that's just kind of meh. Now, what I've been deciding with the directional prints this time around is that the flap will be right side up when you close it. So it'll look like this when it's closed. The interior line will be upside down. It will be not correct. And then, so the back and the flap will be the correct directions. I'll actually show you. Actually, no, it'll be easier to show you once I sew it. So, I thought I kicked that cough. Let's use another one of these pieces. I've already done these cuts. All right, so we're just going to take this piece. So this is going to be the flap. And this will be the body. And then you just trim it down right there. Close enough. Everything has a very generous seam allowance on this pattern, so I'm not worried about it. Now, this is where we're going to actually go to the, you can come along with me for a field trip to the sewing machine so that we can sew these together. Oh, I guess I could cut. Yeah, let's cut interfacing before we go to the sewing machine. Okay, so how many eyeglass cases do we have? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. This is that Maneki Neko. Again, that's going to be friggin' adorable. There's 21. Ugh. Okay, let's actually make this a proper stack so that I can count it right. Some days, guys. I love this little bee fabric as well. This was really popular last time. Picked up in Tokyo again as well. Should have actually gotten more because it's just remained popular, but live and learn, I guess. Okay, 2, 3. Why are you odd man out? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Ducks. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. All right. So this is the bolt that I want to clear the shelves off back here and put in there so it'll stand up like this. Right now what it's doing is I've got a calyx behind here, which works amazing for the obi because the depth of the calyx is about 13 inches and the obi are usually about 12 to 13 inches. But when you lay a bolt that is 108 inches divided by 4, so what is that, like 27 inches? It sticks out into the rim by like 50% and makes it really difficult to get around. So we are going to try and clear that up. Actually, what I was thinking is I'll probably, I say as I stuff it in another calyx shelf, but it's more out of the way there. So right now, so this is what it's doing in the other one. That is a roll of different interfacing. So this is more papery. This is what I'm using in the necessary clutch wallets. This one is lighter. It's closer to an SF 101. Anyway, this is what it's doing in the other shelves behind you. You guys, you being my laptop right now and my ring light. So I can't actually transit along that end of the desk right now very easily because the bolts are in the way. I can't transit around the whole desk right now very easily because it's still, I haven't, like I said, optimized. I just got it down to functioning, and now I forgot how many there are. I think it's 35. You're probably yelling it at the camera if you're watching this later. Katie. 6, 7. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Okay, about 26. I think this has to go in cuts of 3 anyway. Which means that we'll end up with probably 27 interfacings. There was a spare one somewhere from the other day, but I guess I'll find that one I actually tidy up. Anyway, if anyone is here, sometimes it seems like the mobile YouTube app isn't actually pinging the system for some reason. But if you're here, give me a shout out in the chat because I would appreciate it. It keeps me company through the night. Yeah. All right, so I think this is a 44-inch wide stuff, and I've apparently cut something out here, and I don't even know what it was. Just a random cut. Oh, yeah, okay. I know what it was. All right, yeah, so we can get 3 on here, so that means that we'll make 9 cuts for the fusible interfacing. I am not super diligent about this interfacing. It's cheap. And I always figure it's better to have a little bit more interfacing than too little interfacing. More rather than less, because it's easier to cut it down than it is to add it in. Do I add it in? 100%. I will totally piece together fusible interfacing because it's easy-ish. All right. So 1, 2. Hey, we're already a third of the way there, and I just realized I'm gonna have to, so when we go out, I gotta sew the directional prints, and then we also need to go grab, I just realized actually the thing that would be very adorable with a matching lining would actually be these glass cases. And since they're made from, like, you make 2 cuts on one, that would be really easy. Now that is something to think of. All right, so what I mean by that is, like, so you take this piece of fabric and this piece of fabric, and you make the eyeglass cases out of them instead of lining this piece of fabric with whatever color. Although that's pretty adorable too. Again, it's a little bit of a cost balance, and I can definitely take this and make, like, I'm thinking I need to make itty bitty little box pouches for, like, pencil cases and stuff like that. Actually, I could just do it that way and bind the edges. That would be adorable as well. So lots of possibilities, obviously. Just not enough time some days, obviously. All right, so that was the 3rd cut. Now, so one of the things I am going to do, and I've already done on this cutting table, that has made life way easier, especially with moving it into this room, is I added a curtain rod hanger. Ooh. Sorry, I'm just looking underneath because it's like a triangle bracket. So I just realized I probably could put another dowel. Yep, with more interfacing. Anyway, what I did is I put a curtain rod, and then I put my roll of interfacing on the curtain rod under the table, and then I can just pull it up. So this will go underneath the table, and then I'll just pull up from underneath the table. I've noticed it's a problem with, like, businesses. I'm not in, like, a tiny space. I'm not, like, in an itty bitty room. This is a cutting room, and then I still have my studio out this door. But the problem is that the storage solutions are either, like, put it in the smallest little corner of the house that you can that isn't the kitchen table, so, like, the closet. Unfortunately, I have definitely outgrown the closet. This room is probably about 2/3 to 3/4 of the size that I was in when we originally bought our first house. So it is smaller than what I started in. And in the old house, though, we had updated the base. So when we moved in, it was an unfinished basement. It was a new build. Could I use my rotary cutter? Yes. Am I? No. Shears tonight, apparently. But I can drag them. Anyway, yes, we finished the basement and like finished it to kind of basically my specifications for what I want for a studio. Got it finished. Everything fell to shambles because I finished in 2019, and then we moved in 2022. That's fine. But I'm still working out details for how everything, like, I gotta work everything in. Originally, this was supposed to be a guest bedroom. All our friends are allergic to cats pretty much, or have responsibilities that they need to get home to, so they very rarely will we have a guest that will actually stay over at the house. So, because I was thinking about it, I'm like, why didn't we just move this table in here originally? But that was the reasoning, is because technically this was supposed to be a guest bedroom. Whatever. Mine now. It is a guest bedroom. It's a fabric bedroom. These fabrics are business fabrics, so they're all guests transitioning through my space. Anyway, the words. Yeah, so we just moved the cutting table in here. So I'm still learning how I should set this space up for that. I think that was 7. And it's just a learning curve because the basement is smaller. I don't know what it is about walkout basements, but they're all really like narrow. So like the depth from the back to the front is really small. I don't know why. Our old house, like, I have the size of my studio, basically. 4, 5, 6, 7. I was right. 2 more cuts. So we're just gonna make do, and make work with what I have. The one big upgrade I eventually want to do is I do want to, like, we have shag carpet down here. Modern shag, not 70s shag. It is very nice. It's actually it's held up really well. The house build is so it's finished in November of 2014. So that means it's almost 9, like it's 8.5 years old right now. And like you can see some of the traffic, but you cannot see it like it was in our old place. Like, granted, I was working from home the whole time we lived there, so I was there all the time. And obviously the cats do actually add quite a bit of traffic as well. But this shag is not showing the wear anywhere near as much as our like low pile carpet. But what I do want to do down in the basement is I want to put in a laminate or a vinyl plank eventually. The only thing is that my husband wants to do the stairs, and I absolutely despise laminate and vinyl on the stairs. I am klutzy AF, and I've already broken my ankle once. I don't need to do it again. So we are still debating that. We were going to swap it right when we moved in last year because obviously it's much easier to do it before all of this is in here. But we decided to save the expense, and I think that was still the better decision. We've got other things we need to spend the money on in this house. We actually had to upgrade some appliances we didn't expect we'd have to do. Like our dishwasher. It was still working, but it was not working well. It was on its last legs. So we did that, and the other one that we didn't expect was actually the oven. But the weird thing with the oven was it was like worked fine. The stove worked fine as well. But when you open the oven, it released, like, no matter what you were cooking, it released a lot of steam right in your face. So we decided to change that out just as a safety thing with the kids. Obviously, we keep them away from the oven and the stove while we're using it to the best of our abilities. But you don't want to be that person that gets caught. And I didn't want to keep having it steam my face every time I opened it either. So there was a few upgrades that were unanticipated after we moved in. All right, come with me. Don't judge my messy basement. Actually, we'll just focus on my face. Sorry if this is a little bit wibbly wobbly and gross. All the new fabrics from May are actually what I'm stepping over right now. As I said, I'm not really set up for having or for stuff right now. So I need to actually think so the plan was I was going to do it today since my eldest was home. It's Canada Day weekend. It's a long weekend, so childcare is I am not child-free, totally child-free at all this week, which is sad face. But I was actually going to do what was I going to do? Oh, I was going to do that whole shelf shuffle today, but it's better to do it while my youngest is home because they like to, they, being the youngest, likes to just get into everything. And it's a little bit easier to keep an eye on them when I am just tidying versus doing other stuff. I don't know. That's what I told myself anyway. And so I spent the day sewing wallets and dealing with vomit. Although my eldest only threw up once, which is good. But the issue with that is that they threw up blueberries on my shag carpet in the basement. I got them out. 75% of it's on the patio. But that does mean I also need to clean my patio. But yeah, that was one of the fun things today. All right, we're going to turn the stitch length back. We're going to sew the directional prints here. Okay, and then I'm going to lay the stabilizer over this one and make sure that, because I had to trim down the seam allowance like 1/8 of an inch. I just want to make sure that this will work. Pretty sure it will. You're going to have to go under the press before I actually put the interfacing on. Oh yeah, that actually works really well. All right, so how this will work now, I can actually show you since I've got a stabilizer here. So it's, wait, I just sewed it back together the same way. Okay, seam ripper time. I don't have a seam ripper. I broke it the other day. All right, scissors in all time. I need to go get seam rippers. I need to actually make a tool run to the supplier in Calgary that I've been using. It's called Picana. And I need seam rippers, and I need that 1x6 ruler because I need the 1x6 ruler for the wallets. That's what I said in case that was way too low. Sounded too low to me. Also, I have my window open right now, and it was a really hot day. I know I've got my sweater on, but this is my favorite thing to wear in the summer is this shorts and sweatshirt combo. And the basement is chill. Obviously, in the summer they're cooler. And I have a Norin hanging on my stairs leading up to the main floor. A Norin is a traditional Japanese door hanging. Anyway, I've got a Norin hanging on the stairs, and so it traps the cool air down here, which is amazing when you're working down here. But it traps the cool air down here, so even in the summertime, it can still be kind of chilly. Anyway, I opened the window earlier, and the scent of outside smells like summer. It's we're 10 minutes to July, and that's what it smells like. When I opened it up, it was a great big puff of humidity in my face, and it felt so good. Not like oven humidity, like enjoyable in your face humidity. All right. So what I need, seam rippers and the 1x6 ruler. I'll do that when I go to pick my husband up. All right, let's clip and pull it on this other side. Oh, apparently I already did most. Oh no, okay. What are you scratching now? Okay. Lynn's going after some like packaging that was in a box down here. Should I actually be working on pick your own and wholesale orders? 100%. Am I? No. I will actually work on those next week. I need to finish cutting the interiors and the pockets for the Kato for Paula Bananas. And just basically sew the rest of them. Pretty sure I even have all the interfacing and linings cut for the pick your owns. Okay. Let's go in and fix this. Yeah, one of the other organization things I need to do is I need to add some shelves into the space. It's a really awkward length depth though, so it's like I don't even know. I need to figure out if my thread spools will fit on the IKEA spice racks, which just means I need to like measure a new one because I have them in a drawer back here, but that's kind of a pain. That's a fairly new one. Ooh. So the problem with these is that they're really thick on the bottom, and I don't know. Oh yeah, it's like 2.5 inches. So that's the depth I need. Because what I was thinking is I want to go maybe get the Bevcam, the spice racks from IKEA. There's actually someone selling a bunch. I could probably just go pick up and save myself a trip to IKEA. Because going to IKEA, even with a plan, is dangerous. All right, so if I sew it this way, they're facing the right way. All right, good job, Katie. Right, but the seam allowance was right, so that's good. At least I got to check that. All right, what did I run over? Okay. Yeah, I think tomorrow's going to be a tidy up day. And a carpet spot treatment. Okay, now normally again I would chain piece these, but I want to make sure that I do have this right. Obviously, very good that I checked this. All right, that goes that direction. Yeah, I'm gonna have to throw this under the press just to get it nice and crisp up here. Actually, we could run the seam roller over that too, if I knew where it was. Oh, where did you go, handy little tool? I bet you I threw it on the desk. Anyway, that looks right now. So how this will work is now, throw this under here. This is a stabilizer, so that's what I was checking the seam allowance with. Is it's like, as long as I can sew around it, I'm happy because we trim it down anyway. And there is actually, I think, the full seam allowance around the whole thing anyway. So that is amazing. So now what happens is I'll fold up the base. So this is the only part that ends up being upside down is this piece, but you barely see it because like the flap comes over. And so the flap and the exterior back are actually aligned. I just realized that draw that. All right, so I wasn't quite as clever as I thought I was. Because that line is supposed to be in a very specific spot on this case. But it's still going to look really good. Actually, the way to fix that is this way. It'll still look good. Although now, So it's actually supposed to be like, you're supposed to fold the case on this line. It's supposed to be your flap. Bah, and I already made all the cuts. Okay, so I'm going to set aside the directional ones and figure that out. I still have backups of it, but now there's not enough fabric down on the bottom here. Okay, so I need more fabric when it's a directional print. That makes sense. So in that case, with the directional prints, I may or may not actually bring them out as the eyeglass cases, but that is so adorable. But see, this line is supposed to be along here so that you end up with all of your directions correct. And right now, it is not right because there's not enough fabric down at the bottom here. Bah! And that is going to be this. I wonder if I reduce the seam allowance again. Let's try it with another one. Whatever. Okay, I won't pick that one apart. Let's try it with the capybara. I think if I maybe reduce the seam allowance again, because here's the thing. There's going to be stabilizer and there's going to be interfacing on this. And then on top of it, it's also going to be sewn again. All right, are you upside down? Yes, you're upside down versus the actual fabric. Let's try this again. We're going to try a scant 1/4 inch. So the last one was a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Technically, the pattern is written when you're doing these directional prints for a 3/8 seam allowance, but obviously I was trying to eke this out of as little fabric as I can. Trying to make these things easily. Don't do what I'm doing. All right, I think this might work though. All right, come here, my G. Please, 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 please work. All right, so that crease line is where it needs to be. Even if I have to fudge it a little bit, I won't be too mad. Yeah, there we go. That works. So there'll be a little bit of an overlap of like stoof, but I think we're good. I don't know. Okay. So it has to sit there. Okay, let's see. Come here. Come here, my pretty. The other thing I could do is I could just go cut more fabric. Like, so I could actually cut the top flap bit out of, or the bottom flap bit out of the stuff we have left over. But I really want to make the pencil cases. So in the case of the capybara, that's not bad. Actually, there's some nice continuity right there. So I think with the capybara, I will be doing it this way, because that is too friggin' adorable. Anyway, so the bottom bit that's actually going to be mostly covered by the flap. Fold it over to show you here. You can see some of it being upside down, but not much, because this is also going to be 3D. So once you fold it in and actually put it together, there's not much visible. All right, so we're going to make you work. I'm just going to leave that stabilizer on there because it's placed correctly. Now the oranges, not as big a deal if they are not directional, because it's just the rain or the juice drops that really show it. So we need to do a scant 1/4 inch. Scant 1/4 inch just means that it's like just in the 1/4 inch line. It's a quilting term that I picked up and it makes sense. All right. I know these guys are going to be fine because the only thing that's actually directional on this print are these little juice drops. And so I'm not going to worry about it. Hello. I was just having a whole existential crisis about the fact that I did all this work to cut these directional prints and then realized that I had not left myself enough room. to actually make the pattern correctly. So we're going through and we're just going to quality control inspect them before I sew the whole thing. Figured out that my seam allowance, if I drop it down to a scant 1/4 inch instead of the 1/2 inch that I planned in, actually helps significantly. Normally I wouldn't run it quite this close, but this is going to get stabilizer, interfacing, and a bunch of like sewing done on top of it. So it's going to be really stable once it's actually done, which is why I'm not worried about it. Cat, you want me to open the window or the curtain for you? Sorry, I'm making cat accommodations, or else he'll just yell at me. All right, so let's quality control inspect this one before it goes. So what happens is that the fold has to happen at a certain point, blah, 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 which is about, actually, probably about there. Okay, so maybe I'm not as badly off as I thought. Anyway, so that the seam line for the actual fabric is supposed to line up with that. And it turns out that the way I did this, I had enough fabric, and I have actually quite a bit of fabric, but I should have left more on the bottom part of the fish towards the fin versus the top part of the fish for the flap. Anyway, this looks like it's going to be fine. All right, now this is only a problem with the directional prints. It's not going to be a problem with any of the other stuff that I put into production, and that is, yeah, so you're going to end up with like a little bit of upside down animal, but nothing too bad. Because once this 3Ds and pops, like, yeah, that's not bad at all. Okay, so we're just going to leave the stabilizer there since it's placed. I've got enough room for seam allowance. We can actually scoot this down a tick. I'm going to press that seam allowance to the top like that. All right. Now, stay. Ugh. There's always something new. All right, if you're just joining me, I am making the May glasses case by Miss Freckles Designs. They were super popular when I launched them in May, to the point where I think there's only one, maybe two in the shop right now. So I'm actually just working through a bunch of cuts from stuff that I've been cutting the last few weeks. Now, when I say glasses case, this is not a padded case. I wouldn't necessarily suggest it for your prescription goggles. But reading glasses and like sunglasses, they'll basically what it's here for is not to prevent crushing, but it is here to prevent scratching. And, you know, look cute. Helps me use up some of my cuts rather than having to always make small box bags out of it. Although the actual cut that's, so this is made from a small box bag cut, which is why we're under these fabric constraints for the directional fabric a little bit more. But the alternate piece to this that I'm not using right now, I'm thinking will actually become pencil cases. So that's going to be really fun. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, let's finish these up. We've got some cranes. So as you can see, these are very directional prints. And so the flap and the back will be correct. The under flap will not be. I'm also at the point in my day where I probably will not stitch a couple of these simply because they need white fabric or white thread. Yeah, these last three I'm going to hold off on. And I'll redo the Fuji one when I'm in a better headspace. It's in timeout right now. All right, so we're going to call it there. I'm going to carry it back with me. We're going to go put these under the steam press, steam the seams open, and get the interfacing on them. Basically, I'm just trying to get as much work as I can done before my kiddos wake up. My eldest currently has a stomach bug, which is always fun. And yeah. All right, so let's gather up all of these guys. So there's already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 20, 21, 22. Okay, well, apparently I was overzealous in cutting my stabilizers, but now I don't have to worry about them for a little while. It's going to have to figure out a way to store those. I figure these eyeglass cases will be really amazing in the Obi prints as well. Actually, I've made some in the Obi, and they are spectacular. So once I'm done this run, I will go into making the Obi eyeglass cases as well, or glasses cases. I'm not saying they're eyeglass cases, just glass cases. Those clips are very close to the edge. They almost fell off. All right, ignore my messy studio, please. We're going to go and I'll set you up so you can actually overlook my steam press. The steam press is actually something that got recommended to me by Miss Knock. She's a bag maker out of Ontario. And it has actually been business altering. I hated doing fusible interfacings before this. And then she suggested this, and yeah. I want to get some Teflon plates for it, or sheets for it, because like then I don't have to worry about this pressing cloth, although the pressing cloth is not a big deal. It's just a piece of fabric that's laying around the studio. Fill up the water. Now, some machines do not take distilled water. In this case, I do actually use the distilled water because that's actually what it asked for. And we do have like moderately hard water here. So just for the longevity of this. There we go. Now, I did get this one secondhand off of Facebook Marketplace. I'd been looking and looking and looking and looking and looking and looking, and they did not come up for a really long time. Or if they did, I missed them because I was like hemming and hawing about it, which was dumb. Now that I have it, it was so dumb. Could have had one like months earlier. And it's so why it's life changing is because the Kato bag actually has fusible interfacing in the exterior top, and so like I have to fuse all that interfacing on, and my iron is dying a slow death, and this is just more consistent. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the ring light in here so that you can actually see. Yeah, there we go. The steam press a little bit better. Alrighty, let's get. Should we do the easy ones first, or should we do the let's do the difficult ones first before I get too tired to think about them. So here's the stack. Work with what we have. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. You can tell it's show season because I'm already tired. Granted, it is, yeah, it's after midnight now. So happy July. Can't believe we're in July already. It's absolutely nuts. Which brings me to actually, I've got some events coming up. So in 2 weeks, I've got a pop-up at Ancient Arts Yarns in Calgary, Alberta at their dye studio down on Manitou Road. I will be emailing out the details here once I get timing on it. And yeah, watch for that. And then I have a pop-up with Omatsuri, which is the Japanese festival in Calgary. And then I am at Knit City, Vancouver, September. Oh, sorry. Omatsuri is August 11th. It's the second Saturday. Yeah, that would make it the second Saturday in August. And I'm sorry if I've given the wrong dates for that before. I think I said the 12th. It is not the 12th. It's the 11th. Second Saturday. And then in September, I'm at Knit City, Vancouver, which is September 22nd to 24th for the full weekend. But the vendor market is September 23rd and 24th. The other thing I love about this is the fact that it beeps at me to tell me when I should actually lift the cover. Life-changing. Business-changing. There we go. Nice and pressed. All right. So I can actually do 2 at a time of the interfacing. Just spread them out a little bit. And then we got to line them up. Take our fish. Fish. And we're going to line them up closer to the bottom. Yeah. Okay. And we figured out that this one, it was okay. Yeah. I want to give myself a little bit of room. These were all okay with it being a little bit higher up just because it's like, it was still fine. Okay. Next time I will cut them differently. It just means that I can't be lazy about the cutting, which I was tonight because kids, man. Folks. Kids. All right. Now, actually, typically you would fuse this from the top, so like cotton side, but since these are yeah, it's gonna make my under thing sticky, so we're gonna flip them very carefully. We're gonna flip them, because otherwise what happens is that the actual like iron pad underneath these is gonna get sticky, and I do not want that. Somehow my actual iron is absolutely horrendously gunked up. I went to use it today on the wallets, and I'm like, what is wrong with this? It was so bad. Right, it's the bottom that I have to worry about. Okay, there. And then I put the pressing cloth over top of it. Like this. And then we'll steam and press for the 10 seconds. Still really. Still managed to burn myself on the thing. All right. We'll do that and that one. Then after this, I think we're pretty straightforward, just easy peasy interfacing. Yeah, so that's why I put the pressing cloth, is that the interfacing is sticky. And you, okay, you're okay on the fish. Yeah, you're good. Okay, good. All right, so we're going to set them up the same here, but I will set them up and flip them individually. Now knowing what I know. And then the ones that aren't directional will be easy because it's just plop the stabilizer in the middle, put the interfacing, yeah, I'll show you in a moment. It'll make sense. It's easier than talking about it. All right, there we go. Good. Press that up a little bit because the orange, apparently it creased in the press originally. I really love this fabric. I don't know what it is about it even. Obviously, I love a lot of my fabrics, but my goodness. All right. Let's do you two. Scoot down as far as I think you can. Oh yeah, look at that. That almost lines up with that seam allowance, which is awesome. I'm looking at the crease that's actually in the stabilizer right here. And actually we can do that. Perfect. Now we're going to go in with fusible. Now the pattern actually does call for a fusible fleece. And you might be asking why I'm doing it this way. It's because it's what I have access to. The sew-in firm stabilizer is what I have access to from one of my wholesalers in Calgary. Now I could order the fusible from Peltex directly. I do have those contacts now, which is awesome. But this is what I had. And honestly, I want to also interface the exterior line of this just because it's going to be under a lot more stress than my actual, like, my, a lot of my bags are, even like the project bags. So anyway, so that's the main thought process, is now it's interfaced the whole fabric, and then I also have the stabilizer here. And I like the feel of the stabilizer. I haven't worked with the foam before. I know the stabilizer. I know how it reacts, and it's working well so far. So that's what we're going to stick with. I just realized that I am going to need a new bolt of it because the purses I want to make also need it for the flap. There we go. All right, so there's all the directionals done for now. As I said, there's a few more. Oh, that looks crooked there. There's a few more to still sew out there, but I did not feel like changing out the white fabric or white thread because some of them still need top stitching. What am I waiting for on those ones? I'm waiting for something. Oh, right. Okay. No, that doesn't make sense. I turned them all. I was supposed to have a friend come out this weekend, but because my eldest has that stomach bug, we decided to rain check because she doesn't want to get a stomach bug. And I do not blame her in the slightest. It's also going to be a really busy weekend because it's a long weekend, so traffic's going to be horrendous. So I have a feeling we're just going to be homebodies this weekend. In part because I don't feel like dealing with two kiddos in a crowd. All right. So right now we're working on interfacing and stabilizing the May glasses case. I just finished up the directional prints, and we're going to head on to the non-directionals, which include the Maneki Neko. These are going to be a lot easier to actually work with because I'll just pop the stabilizer. Actually, so I've got my stack of fusible interfacing here. We'll just pop the fish. Apparently I was very generous on my interfacing cuts. I know I said I was going to be not super picky, but I could have been a little bit pickier than that. All right. Now we'll just double check to see. Yeah, because if I do that, then cute. Okay. So there's one. I'm going to pop this on here. And then we're going to do the, I guess I should actually, if I'm going to be that picky with the blue, I should be that picky with the pink. So there's another directional that'll get dealt with later. This is a cute breakfast fabric. What's gonna show? It's not super directional, but you know. Oh yeah, I want pancakes up. There we go. Okay. And then actually that works out better. Yeah. Okay. Just, feeling up the edges of the interfacing to make sure that it's where I want it to be. Stabilizer. What I'm fusing is the interfacing. What's in the middle of this is actually the stabilizer. That is really rolly. Almost needs a weight on it before I press it. Okay, let's actually turn that over. There we go. And then we'll put the interfacing back over top, or the exterior back over top. All good, all good. Good. Okay, now we'll move this one into position. Pressing cloth. I probably could do 2 layers, but honestly, I don't want to mess around with the interfacing. I prefer it to be well adhered versus the efficiency of doing 2 at a time. That plus that usually fails miserably for me. Or 2 layers. Obviously 2 at a time right now is fine. Like this. All right. That one is hanging out on that edge pretty good. So let's see. That interfaced around the fish all the way. Breakfast, although it needs it down here. Okay. We're going to flip both of these so that they get their little, this layer right here pressed, because it didn't press very well this last time. Do-do-do. I think I'm actually supposed to leave them like on the actual steam press for like, I don't know, 10 seconds to let them cool down a bit. So we're going to do that this time. And I'll prep another one to actually just pop onto the thing as we're waiting. Onto the steam press table. There we go. Itty bitty micro dogs. They're adorable. All right. Just see kind of where they all fall. Cute, cute, cute. You are not directional enough for me to worry. Okay. Sweet. So those are now pressed. And very adhered. Yeah, we're good. Now, obviously, there'll also be like a stitch line running around this. So if it's not perfectly adhered, it'll still stay on. It's adhered on the back of this like stabilizer, and that's what really matters. But by the time it's all stitched in and everything like that, like there's no room for it to move. So this may look weird. Should I probably cut the fish shapes out of the interiors and exteriors? Yes, actually, that is part of the instructions. Again, if you want to make this easy on yourself, follow the instructions. Don't be like me. Follow my instructions. Don't be like me. Follow the pattern instructions. But what I'm doing here is, because this is already a cut, I am saving myself a itty bitty amount of time by not cutting it out twice, basically. So once this is sewn, I need to scoot down a bit. Once this is sewn, you go around and you notch it, or in my case, pinking shears it. So instead of me having to cut it out, oh, I see what I can do here. Cut it out twice, as in cut it out now, and then also pinking shear it. I just pinking shear it. So I use the stabilizer as the guide, because the seam allowance follows right along where the stabilizer sits on this pattern. And that's how I save some time on production sewing like this. Because if I had to cut it out twice, these wouldn't get done. It's yeah. It doesn't add any enrichment to my enclosure. All right, pancakes can be up right on this one too for the breakfast foods. I guess I can actually show you what I'm doing. All right, and then there's going to be a banana right on the tip. How to make pancake bite size. Sweet. And then this flip up on the bottom will actually have about a half and half. The back of it is perfect. Yeah, we're good. I'm happy with that one. Okay, we'll grab the next round of fabric. So basically right now I'm placing the stabilizer on the interfacing, and then taking the exterior that I want to fuse to the interfacing and placing it over top like this. And then I'm deciding if like the placement of the pattern is to my satisfaction. Again, the discussion was just, could I cut this shape out beforehand? 100%. But the templates I have right now are paper, and so I couldn't actually fussy cut very well. And this actually gives me a better idea, because sometimes my visualization of how things sit is not the best. All right, you actually need to move up on the interfacing. So saying on the steam table right now, ooh, that might be a good one. Okay, so this would be right in the middle of the flap on the front. This one is right in the middle of the back, and that one is mostly there. This is on the front cover, as is that. Okay, I like that setup. All right. So there's the 2 to go on the steam press next. Hello. Sticky, sticky. So we just did micro dogs. These are all Japanese fabrics. I go and I hand select them all in Japan. Right now, typically in Kyoto and Tokyo. So if there's stuff that you're not familiar with, that is probably why. These are all fabrics from a trip that I made in November. I went basically as soon as I heard that they were reopening, I booked my flights. My husband and I had a time frame of when we could do it. Had to be a week that he was at home and available to take care of the kiddos. And I needed it to be over a time period that I could go to the flea market at least. So typically I go to the Toji flea market, which is just off of Kyoto Station. Is that enough seam allowance? Let's scoot this down a little bit. We can get a little bit more of that calico in there too. But I actually ended up at Kitano Tenmangu instead. So that was, which is on the 25th of the month. There we go. Anyway, these are all fabrics from November, and then I did make a trip in May as well. Those fabrics will not be into production until probably just before Christmas. I think there's a couple special projects that I need to complete from them before that. But otherwise, it's just... the summer is already turning out to be crazy. All right. Friggin' adorable hamsters. The other thing too with the pressing cloth is it's not just that it's going to protect like my sole plate from gunk. It's actually going to protect the fabrics from getting scorched as well. All right, hamsters. Then we got the Christmas tuxedo cats. Then I swear I'm going to work on wholesale orders. Well, no. So tomorrow I'm going to work on getting this room more functional again. And then I'm going to work on sewing wholesale orders, I think. Wholesale and actually pick your own is the ones that should be prioritized because they're paid for and need to go out. Yeah, that looks good. All right. Sweet. Oh, that is going to look so good. Yeah, so let's fold this up. Fold them in. Yes, look at that baby. All right, so he's like right on the curl, and then this one on the back, and then even on the front. The calico's on the front. Oh, so good. And then the pancake delivery is also extremely cute. All right. Hamsters. I had to get this fabric. I only got like a meter of it, but I had to get this fabric because it reminded me of Hamtaro and the anime that was like all we got as kids for a really long time. It's kind of like Sailor Moon, Pokemon, Digimon, and then, well, at least so at least with my internet access and where I lived, it was YTV anime or like the Fox Kids Saturday morning anime. So there's Escaflowne in there and stuff like that too. Like all the really big stuff. I didn't end up seeing any Gundam until it came on YTV though either. But anyway, the hamsters remind me of Hamtaro, which, whatever. Nostalgia. All right, now the bunny is going to be a little bit more difficult here because they're so big. This is one of those ones I debated if I should even do the eyeglass cases out of. I think we're good. The bunny's kind of going to be half and half. So let's flip. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Okay. So now this bunny will be on the flap on the front. This bunny will be just on the edge of like the fold. Perfect. Okay, so there's the bunnies done. Yeah, I was very generous with my interfacing cuts. I'll be a little bit stingier next time. Okay, and then the next one I think is ducks. Nope, it's guinea pigs. I've got guinea pigs and I've got the jam labels, the red vintage labels. All right, guinea pigs. That'll be right on the middle back, which is perfect. There's the fold, kind of. Most of the things about the fold are like, that's okay. It'll look fine. All right. No. Stick. Okay, there we go. Yep, good there. That one I should actually sew before I take the black thread out of the machine. Yeah, that's adorable. It's the hamsters. Yeah, a few of these need to be sewn with the black thread before I take it out of the machine. And so I can finish up their top stitching in the black as well. I try and like batch white or black just because then I'm not like, you don't want to be constantly switching your threads because that wastes time. We are getting into very curly fish territory, so I think I need to weight these down with some pattern weights. 1 second. This also tells me that it's time to actually buy some more of the stabilizer because it's getting curly. All right. At least I have a whole stack right here that I just tidied up off the cutting table. The secret to pattern weights is go buy a bunch of giant washers at the hardware store. I've actually got like really big washers and then I've got like smaller washers. And obviously it doesn't matter with these imperfections. So can you gussy them up? 100% go for it. But that's what works for me. I wish I took the time to gussy them up, but I haven't. That can be a project for another day if I really want to. But it's like looking at people who make them. There's a woman who I used to make a donut pattern weights, and they were gorgeous, but they were so expensive to ship because, of course, it's a weight. So what do you, right? Like you're paying, like I think the shipping cost was double the cost of the actual product. Because she was also in the UK, so it would make more sense if you actually lived in the UK. But for someone in Canada, it didn't make sense. All right, so we've got the first of the vintage retro labels here. I like how for like half of this live, I've just been talking to myself. All right, Cherry Brand is going to fold over. Confiture is going to be right there. And then this is going to fold up and I think be pretty darn adorable. The orange is going to be nice there too. Yeah, that looks good. Jim, thank you. Ding. All right, and then we're going to also get the light blue version of it. Obviously, the weights aren't going to help very quickly. I probably should have done this as I was cutting them out yesterday, but you know. This is the same print. It's just a different color. Wait, is it? Oh, yeah, it is. Things always just pop differently. It's also like a different section of the actual cut. So that's why I was like, wait. Kind of like to center that and then move. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to though. Okay, so that stops there. We get that and that. Confiture. Strawberry harvest. Okay, I think this needs to be flipped is what's up. Yeah, there we go. And then sweet harvest strawberry will be there. And actually that gets orange a little bit better. Lemon squash, Cherry Brand, cherry, organic. Yeah, that's better. Okay. I think we're almost done, guys. I am excited. All right. There we go. Come here. Plug you in like that. And then the light blue. Like this. So why I'm placing it at like that is because then the widest part of the fish is down here on the widest part of the steam press. And then the tip of the fish, the head of the fish, is down on the thin part of the actual steam press. All right. Will I get these sewn tonight? Probably not, but this is actually quite a bit of progress. I had them upstairs to cut linings earlier, and I'm glad I've been able to get the interfacing more or less done. Yes. All right, now we're into the ducks. And Maiko in Kyoto on sky blue. Now this is an up-down print is what I would consider. It's fairly directional, so it's not like a scattering of Maiko everywhere. The ducks are a scattered print. So it definitely doesn't need to have any directionality done to it. I don't think the Maiko do either, but we'll see how it places on the actual fabric. This is where like fussing cutting it, or at least having a clear template to like lay over top of the fabric would be really nice. I'm trying to figure out, well, at this point, it would probably be worth getting one. Just, it would make everything a little bit faster to cut out, even if just like, I would still cut the rectangles out the exact same way, simply because it's already basically done. It's like 2 more cuts versus doing a small box bag. All right, so what do we have? We've got the wisteria actually running the right way, peak of a Maiko. And then these guys would be right side up on the back. Perfect. And then these ones would be right side up. These 3 would be right side up pretty much on the flap on the bottom. And the gates would be a bit odd. I don't think I can plan that better though. All right, there we go. So, come on. I guess I could actually do a check on the duck and make sure that it is satisfactorily placed to make sure I've got like some bandana cat ducks and stuff. All right, let's check and see. And like what's gonna kind of end up in the center up here. It's gonna be duck right in the middle. Yeah, I'm not overly committed to this one. Not because it's not important, but because it's such a scatter print that it's gonna be cute no matter what. Actually, I think with those pink oranges, since the raindrops are the only thing that give it away, I'm going to double check to see if there didn't even end up being any raindrops going the wrong direction. Juice drops, raindrops, I don't know what to call them. Little drops. I don't think so. Okay, so we'll double check that one. Just so I don't have to go through the hassle of like, well, I guess I could experiment with it and see how to properly cut the directional prints. So there's that. All right, we got another bunny print. It's on the navy. It looks like it should go this way, maybe. Okay, so that would fold upright. This one would be on the back. That one would be hinted at on the back, and there would be just a nice plain front. Otherwise, that one would be upside down, but then, okay, let's flip it and see. Everything would be upside down. Okay. So no, this way. All right, so it'll be a nice plain front, basically, because there's the fold. Could maybe scoot it over and try to get at least a little bit of that bunny. This guy has room to scoot. That would cut this one out, and then there would be this guy no matter what. Could center him a bit better if we scoot this. No, scooting it will take too much. Yeah, let's try one more time. One more time. Yeah. I like having this other leaping one here, so let's move it back. All right, so the flap will be nice and just straightforward. With this one, I'll put a gold metallic rivet because that There's like shimmery gold highlights on this one. Okay. Oh, wait. Nope. There he is. Okay. Did I? Nope. No, we're not in the right spot. Do. Move it. Okay. And then we're going to scoot. Yeah, we're going to scoot it down to try and get this bunny butt in. At least the majority of it. I think you can do one more. Yeah, there we go. Now that rabbit will be completely on the case. And then there's the fold. Then we got a little bit of this guy in there. And then, yeah, plain front. All right. That one is so particular that I'm actually going to pull these. And just put it right on the steam table so I don't have to move it twice. Actually, let's just press it. Yep. Try not to drag the press cloth over top. Just set it down and press. Down. And press. All right. We've got like... Oh, okay. We've only got one more. We've got birds. Itty bitty birds. Which means I actually have... Oh, right. Because I didn't end up finishing all of the planned. Okay. Pop it back under with that. Like that. Zippity zip. Actually, we can do this with the birds then. That's fine. Okay, so the butt is there. And then these are the itty bitty birds I'm talking about. I think they've got berries. Yeah, they got little berries. Very wintry print, but hey, you need glasses year round, so. All right. Let's see if I cut this right or not. Who knows? There's hair. Get out of here. No, this is another scatter print, so I'm not too worried. Really cute no matter what. There's a guy almost right in the middle on the flap, so that's perfect. I'm not going to fuss with that too much then, because it was meant to be. All right, press these again, or well, press them. All right, and then let's lay out this pink citrus and see if I need to have any conniptions about juice drops. No, I don't actually, because the one directional one that will actually end up on here will end up on the back. And then the other ones will end up on the flap, like the under curve, which I wouldn't be able to fix by having a conniption about it anyway. All right. Yeah, come here. Pretty birdies. Bunnies. And then the pink citrus. I really like this. I really like that. This this Dobby in these accessories. So like the Maneki Neko for the wallet. Whew, it's gorgeous. All right. Just make sure. Yeah, that's good. And that one gets cut off by the turn anyway, so whatever. All right. Sweet. That is a lot of work done, guys. All right, so there's extra interfacing because I didn't actually end up finishing all of the stuff. I'm going to turn the iron or the steam press off because I'm not doing more faffing around with things right now. I could pull out some of the obi and show you, but I'm going to leave those as a surprise. It is now 1:45 in the morning here, so I think I am going to actually call it a night. I should go sew, but my self-preservation is saying go sleep. So I'm going to leave you with this very pretty citrus fabric. Thank you so much for everyone who joined me. I had a really good time, got a lot of work done, and hopefully the kids go to bed earlier tomorrow night so that I can come back and chat with you earlier. I will see you all very soon. Bye.